Good afternoon to each and every one. I know it has been a minute, but I am back. This is yours truly, Mr. Brenda with Empowerment Youth Ministry broadcast. And I know it's been a while since we have actually done a live broadcast. There's so much that's been going on, but nevertheless, God is good. But I just wanted to make sure that I got back into it when it comes down to trying to empower our young people. And when you look at society, we need more people in our corner to help our young people to make it. And there, right now, when you look at what we're dealing with, the racial injustice, with the political field that's going on, and getting ready to have our votes, voting for president, everything that we're dealing with right now is overwhelming. Schools opening back up with the pandemic that's going on, and it's just overwhelming. Kids are learning online, and it's just a lot, not just for the children, but even for the parents. But I just want to bring some awareness, some very um, information that I think is important that we be aware of as we go into the next week, next few weeks, and to the rest of this remaining year with our young people going virtual online. And so this once again, I do the radio broadcast and it's live every Friday on WJAY radio station Joy 1280, as well as 98.3 on FM at 5 o'clock on Fridays. But we do pre-record the show um, so we can send it in. But I just wanted to bring up a topic today. We had interviewed high school students um, probably a couple of months ago, right after they got out of school. And they talked about, and it really bothered me, the fact that just about all of the panel had been bullied. And that is very alarming when you're looking at these kids and they're telling you that they have experienced bullying. And it is not a good feeling to be bullied, even as parents, knowing that your child is being bullied or being treated or mistreated in any way. Nobody wants that in any form or fashion. And so, since they're going back to school, a lot of our children are going to school online and virtual, and it is a lot that they're dealing with. But as they are on these computers more and more, I just want you to be aware of the fact that there may be some bullying, cyber bullying. You're not in the classroom. Some are in the classroom, but some are virtual. And so it happens in the classroom, at the school, but also we want to make sure that we bring awareness to the fact that they are being cyber bullied through social media. Okay. And so that's what our topic today is, about you being in the know about cyberbullying and how to recognize that. And so we're going to go ahead and get started and record our show. And if you have any comments or questions or anything like that at the end, we're trying our best to um, answer those questions, or just to kind of share with the rest of the audience just kind of what you're feeling and what you think as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever you are. If you are the adult in any of these young people lives, whether it's at on the high school level, elementary level, even on the college level, even sad to say, as adults, we label people as bullies, and although they're grown adults, but still yet it's a form of bullying as well. And so we want to go ahead and get started. I have some information I want to share with you in regards to bullying. Okay. All right. So we're going to get started. Good afternoon to each and every one. This is yours truly, the minister, Brenda Clements, with the Empowerment Youth Ministry broadcast. And once again, I am so happy to be able to come and share with you, to share with the people, our communities, making our children, and not only just our children, but you aware, to empower our young people, because that is our goal, to empower you, to make that sure that you feel confident that you're able to go through and conquer whatever it is. We want to give you the tools to be successful. We want to make sure that your path is straight. As they say, you don't have to make the same mistakes we did, but you can learn from other people. And so we want to make sure that we're bringing you the information to make sure that you're empowered, that you're engaged. We want to be a blessing to you at all times. Certainly, God has been good to us, and we want to see our young people do great things. Not just the young people, but you as a whole. We want you to do and be able to do great things in this world. But not only that, but you want to always make sure that you include the main ingredient, the main source, the main reason why we are doing anything is that is to include God with whatever you do. Without God, we're nothing. I'm telling you, it wasn't of our own goodness that we got up this morning. Amen. We didn't get up on our own. We're not breathing on our own. But if it wasn't for God allowing, as they say, the blood to run warm in your veins and your heartbeat being on time, if it wasn't for God doing that for us, then we wouldn't even exist. But thanks be unto God. Hallelujah. He continues to bless us. And I thank God for that. Even in the midst of the pandemic, God is good to us. He has been so good. He's been so gracious to us. We could have been affected by it, but I thank God for protecting us and keeping us and sheltering us in our hearts. Amen. And our prayers go out to those who have lost loved ones or those who are being affected right now by this coronavirus. We want God to bless. We're looking for God to heal and deliver. Only God can do it right now. He is the only one, and we have to look unto him. And people, I want us to continue to be prayerful. Don't stop praying. Don't stop praying. Don't stop seeking God to help us. He is the only one that could bring us out of this pandemic. I know that the scientists and researchers are doing all they can do to find a cure. They're searching. They're trying to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus. But unless God reveal it, unless God allow it to be, I'm sorry. But you know who we need to, I'm not sure who they're looking to, but they may be looking to themselves and other scientists. But I want to encourage everybody to look to God because he's the one that's going to be able to bring us out. And so because of God and his grace and mercy, we just want to tell God, thank you just for blessing us and coming together just one more time. And so we want to get back into our topic for today. Like I said, I had interviewed our high school students probably a couple of months ago. We interviewed with our high school students. And I want you to know just about all of them said that they had experienced bullying. And it really almost made me just kind of stop right there where we were because my heart went out to them. And the fact that they were bullied and they were picked on so much so almost to be harassed by other young people, it was very sad and very troubling to know that people can be so cruel. But our children, it has to stem from somewhere. And we don't want this to happen. I felt so sorry for these young people when they were telling me that they had experienced bullying before. And that's not good at all. And we want to make sure that we sound the alarm on bullying. You know, there's a saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And we want to make sure we're doing that. We want to make sure that we're teaching our children how to get along with other children. We want to make sure that they know how to interact without being mean and hateful and malicious about it. That with loving kindness, being nice, being kind, being courteous, that we inject this into our young people and our children as we train them and as we raise them. But unfortunately, sometimes we think it's funny and we think it's cute the fact that some of our little ones, sometimes they're babies, only 2 or 3 years old, that they're acting mean or they're telling somebody to leave me alone or telling somebody to shut up or either, go hit them. And we edge them on and tell them to do these things But then when they grow up, they are bullies. And just to teach them that at an early age, it's not such a good thing. Teach them how to get along, how to be nice, how to share and get along with other young people or other children. We have to try and put a stop to this, and it begins with us as parents. It begins with the mothers, it begins with the fathers, it begins with all those that are involved in our children's lives. And if we don't, then hopefully, well, hopefully not, they won't grow up to be bullies. But if we continue to laugh and giggle at the little things that they do, instead of disciplining them and telling them, no, that's not nice, make sure you do not hit, you do not throw, you do not pout and get mad. That's not how you get along with your friends. You share. We're going to have problems that we're not going to be able to handle later on. And so it's not always good just to tell them, hey, go hit them, go hit them. Who did it? Tell me who did it, who did it, who did it. And then now you want to act like you're on their side. Hit them back, hit them back, hit them back. Who you're encouraging, and you're growing a bully. And so we don't want to do these type of things, but we want to make sure that we're teaching our children the right thing and how to do and when to do. Okay. And so I wanted to share that because it really bothered me when I had those young people on, those high school students on, and they said that they were being bullied. And I just don't want us to do that. We can make a difference. We can help make a difference. Okay. And so, listen, when it comes down to cyberbullying, so, at school, you deal with it at school. In the public schools, we talk about bullying, and, there's, different organizations that talk about bullying, and there are federal and state laws when it comes down to um, talking about bullying. And so, what we want to do is that we want to make sure that we sound the alarm and that they'll know how to interact. And even as parents, that we'll know how to recognize and to know about cyberbullying. Bullying. It's hard to recognize simply because they're online. You're not really seeing it, and you're not hearing what the other individual is saying. Okay. And so a lot of times we give our children freedom. You give other people freedom. You give our children freedom. They have their little tablets and they have their little phones. And a lot of times we don't know who they're connecting with, and we're not sure who they're talking with. And so we want to make sure that you are aware, because it does exist. And so because they're not at school and the teacher is not there to actually see it, or you as a parent is not there to actually see it and to be able to correct it. So the cyberbullying is what's out there. So they have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have Instagram, and I don't know all of the different social media platforms. But listen, with those platforms, there comes some bullying. And we just want to make you aware of that, because our kids now are more engaged on the computer, and they're more engaged on their phones simply because they're doing a lot of virtual learning. And so let's start out with the definition of cyberbullying. Let's go ahead and identify that. So it says it is the electronic posting of mean-spirited messages about a person, such as a student, often done anonymously. And so it says, but at times has gone on, and the internet itself has evolved. So the definition of cyberbullying has kind of changed so much, because there's so much that has changed with cyberbullying. But it's the mean-spirited messages. And a lot of times we give our kids these phones, and they're on these different platforms, and we don't see the messages that they're getting, and we have no idea who's interacting with them. And it's so good that we be aware and that we're conscious on what they're doing and who they're talking to, because you never know. It could be unfortunately, I mean, we have predators out there, people that are predators, and they prey on our young people, and they will pretend to be their age, and they're not. It's another 30, 40-year-old person that may be out there And so we want to make sure that you're being aware, because our children now are on the internet more now than they ever been. And so we want to make sure that don't give them too much leadway, don't give them too much rope, but just want to give them enough to do what they need to do and keep it moving. Okay. And so here it says, because it's hard to identify and it's hard to overlook. It says cyberbullying may be harder for teachers, administrators, as parents to discover, because they may not have access to student online activities. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. So they may not be able to overhear or to see the abuse that is taking place, unless someone comes forward. Maybe a parent or other teachers may never know about the bullying that's taking place. Okay, so that right there is alarming. And I got this, did a little bit of research online, and this is the Maryville University website that I was able to pull this information from. Okay, and said so. I guess the next question is, how do you identify cyberbullying? You know, let's try and see, can we identify and see if any of this relates to your children, because we don't want to overlook it, and we don't want to downplay. A lot of times that's another thing we do as parents. We try and downplay what's going on for our children, just like it's probably nothing. It's probably, look, don't always just brush everything off, because there's a reason why some things are happening. There's a reason why this may be going on. So let's just be aware. And it's not such a bad thing. It's not the end of the world. Okay. It's about us addressing it, and having open communication and dialogue with our young people. Okay. And so it says the signs and symptoms of bullying, anxiety, or anger. All right. So pay attention to your teenager's mood, both during and after they use their mobile phone or computer. If they do this consistently, it seems like they're anxious, nervous, or either upset when spending time online. Do they get angry or have outbursts when they are online? And so you want to watch that and see what's going on with you. Why are you so angry? Why are you so anxious? What's wrong? What's the matter? Why did you react that way? And look, our young people, they can be moody now. They can be moody, right? But this is beyond the normal moody. Okay. And so you want to make sure that they're not having these outbursts and this angry and mad when they get on the phone. When they get off the phone, they're upset, or when they get offline, they're upset. So let's pay attention to what's going on with them. Secretive. Woo, that's another one. Now they act so secretive. Every time you turn around, they have their phone and they're hiding the screen from you, or they have their phone with them all the time, and they can't ever put their phone down. You might want to take their phone sometime. You have the right, because you pay the bill. All right. So look, all we're doing as parents is just trying to make sure that we're protecting our children at all costs. Why? Because that's our job to do as parents. We're not going to be overbearing parents, but at the same time, we're going to be aware and alert as to what's going on with our children. Okay. So secretive, they become very secretive, very defensive about their online activities. You ask them, say, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing. Why you always thinking I'm doing something? I'm not doing nothing. I just was doing so and so and so and so. Oh, better watch that one. Because when what why are you so defensive? What's going on with that? I just asked you, what were you doing online? Can I see it? And then all of a sudden they catch an attitude with you. Huh, you want to check that, okay? But do it in a nice way. Don't bully them. As parents, they say we y'all bully us, but let's not bully them. But let's try and at least make sure that the dialogue is open with our children, and that they'll feel comfortable coming to us. And then the other thing is also that um, they avoid technology. When one time they will always be on the phone, now they're not. You wondering why? What's going on? They seem withdrawn or anything. So that's the other thing you want to check too. Have they become withdrawn? The other thing is increased messages. They're getting messages. Why are they getting so many messages now? Who's texting you? 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody should be asleep, and they're getting messages. They're on the phone. So these are some of the things you may want to check and see what's going on with your young people. It may not be cyberbullying. They may just be so-called courting, as they say, or have a little sweetheart. But at the same time, we have to set boundaries and rules for our young people, and we want to be aware. And so it's like I said, especially with them being online more, we want to make sure that we are aware of what's happening. That's all, for your protection. Um, Depression, a lot of times and it's sad to say, depression is on a rise, and it has been on a rise, and it continues to be on the rise, along with suicidal thoughts. All of this plays into that peer pressure, that bullying sometimes, situations that our young people are dealing with. And a lot of times they don't want to come forth and tell you and talk to you about it. So that's why it's so important as parents that we keep that open dialogue, with our young people. Try and talk with them. Try and get them to open up with you. Not that you're always hounding them and fussing at them about this and that. Sometimes that pushes them away. Look, this generation that we're dealing with, whoo, I'm telling you, it's something to deal with as parents. And that's why it's so important that we have to continue to be prayerful, try our best to keep our kids in church, and keep them engaged in positive things. And not only that, but you as the parent, protect our young people as much as you possibly can. You can't give them too much rope. Although they're young and you want them to experience different things and be a part of different things, at the same time, we have to be so aware that we're not giving them too much. And I know a lot of times, growing up, we couldn't do this. We can't. The mama wouldn't let us do this. The daddy wouldn't let us. We couldn't go nowhere. Well, okay, that doesn't mean that you let your child go everywhere because you couldn't go. Times are different. Times are so different, and so we want to make sure that we're doing our part as the parents. I'm not going to be your best friend, but I need you to be able to come and talk to me. I need you to feel comfortable enough to come talk to me. Okay. And so it says signs that your teen might be a cyber bully, that they might be a cyber bully. Okay. Well, so one of the signs is they have many accounts. There's so many different platforms and on social media, and they got all kind of names. My name is Brenda, but my name on Twitter might be um, Diana. Just saying, or on Facebook I might be um, I don't know, for Faye, Faye May, or whatever, or I don't know. Some names, they have a bunch of names that they make up. I don't know. But look, that could be a sign. Um, they're also secretive too, as bullies. They spend long hours online. What are you doing online so long? Lack of remorse. This is one. Okay, does your teenager seem to not care if their words or actions hurt others? Have you ever heard them say, "I don't care. I don't care. It don't make no difference to me. I don't care." Watch that. Do they make snarty or rude comments, especially when using their phone or computer? So we have to watch to make sure that this isn't leading to something else. That's the bottom line. You want to make sure that it's not leading to anything else. And then new group, new friends. Every time you turn around, they mad with this group now. They with this clique. Just watch. Becoming withdrawn. They abandoned their old friends. They got new friends, new activities, and new hobbies and stuff. All of a sudden, just you have to watch the sudden changes in your children. That's all I'm saying. Just be aware. By them being online a whole lot now, because we're doing everything virtual, a lot of it, not just the students, but even as parents, there's a lot that's happening online, y'all, and we have to just be aware. Bottom line, as parents, as teachers, whoever you are, we just have to be aware. And that cyberbullying out there does exist. And so It also says the possible effects of cyberbullying, the possible effects of it. Emotional distress. Cyberbullying can lead to a shift in mood or emotion in their victim. The constant stress of the attacks can make victims prone to outbursts of frustrations, sadness, or anger as they try to cope with bullying. They're trying to cope with it. That right there, that right there really just kind of it bothers me that they're trying to cope with it and deal with it on their own. And they need to feel assured that we as parents, we're there for them and they can depend on us and they can come to us, that they don't have to cope with it alone, that they're not alone. You're never alone. That we as parents, we're always here for you. And not only that, but we love you. Okay. And so we need to make sure that we're doing that, because a lot of times the first thing they say, nobody don't understand us and they don't love me, they don't love that. The devil, first of all, will always try his best to make you feel like nobody love you and nobody care. But we as parents and family need to make sure that we interject that into our young people all the time, trying to give them positive things to feed on, to let them know that we love them, that we care. Now, I'm not going to give you everything that you want, but we're going to try and work and see, can we get that done for you? Okay, so let's try and work with our young people. The other thing is physical symptoms that the potential the effects of cyberbullying can have on your children. So victims may begin to develop frequent headaches, stomach aches, and have trouble sleeping. Those are some of the symptoms of or the effects of cyberbullying. And a lot of times, our children say, my head hurt, or my stomach ache, my stomach hurt, or they can't sleep. Why? What's going on? Take time, parents, to find out. Sit down with your young people and find out what's going on with your children, because it could be cyberbullying. It may not. It may be something that really is going on with them, but try and sit down and talk with them. Take the time. I know we're busy. Oh boy, the bills don't never stop coming. Seem like they double up in 1 month. Say, my goodness, didn't I just pay them? Yeah, you just paid them, but they do again, unfortunately. But let's take time out for our young people. They're depending on us as parents. They depend on us, and we have to ensure that they feel comfortable talking to us. And so it says, though they are not attacked physically by the bully, but the ongoing stress of the harassment may still take a physical toll as the victim grows increasingly stressed and anxious. Wow, that's something else. Just to know that our children may have these effects physically due to the bullying, the stress. It's just too much. They can't take it. It makes their stomach hurt to think about going to class and being in class with Susie Jane. I don't know who they may be, or Billy, or either Tommy. And so you want to make sure that you're conscious of these things. The cyberbullying is something else. And bullying, not just cyberbullying, but bullying as a whole is something else to deal with. And we need to recognize that. Sometimes we just feel like our kids are just doing things for attention and different things, and they may be. But at the same time, you know your child better than anybody else. And so I want to bring awareness about this cyberbullying. Like I said, we interviewed some high school students a couple of months ago, and they all said that they were bullied at some point in time throughout their school years. And so we just want to make sure that we're talking to our children, especially in a day and time like now. There's a lot going on with the pandemic, a lot of stress, anxiety, depression. It's all here and it's overwhelming sometimes. And we as adults sometimes struggle with handling ourselves. So can you imagine how they feel? Okay, so let's put ourselves in their shoes. The next thing is just educating your child about cyberbullying. Keep the lines of communication open, as I said before. Let them know that they can always come and talk to you, even if they experience or encounter any cyberbullying online. Reassure that your teen that they won't face repercussions or loss of computer privileges if they are being bullied. And a lot of times they're afraid to say anything to anybody because they don't want to be known as the one that squealed or whatever. But at the same time, please, young people, talk up and share and let your parents know what's going on. Let them in. Avoid being around them. That'll be great. Block them from your phone. Block them from being on your page or calling your number. Um, Change your contact information. Then make a record of it. So there's just so much that's going on with our young people. And I'll tell you, my time is out, y'all. I don't have any more time left. But once again, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to get back on this. It's been a minute since we have come to you live, but we thank God just for being the opportunity to share with you. And we want you to continue to be encouraged, encourage our young people. Progress reports went out today, and I hope that everybody did well. And that if you're struggling, try and get some help now. Don't wait to the end of the year or the end of the semester or the end of the 9 weeks and say, Mom, I'm struggling with so and so. Look, let's talk about it now. Let's get it straight. Let's not try and wait till nobody can't help, but do it now while you can get some help and you can make a difference. Bring those grades up. You could be the honor roll student. You can make the AB honor roll. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Because look, your future is depending on this. It is. And he can open doors like never before. But at the same time, you need those grades also to help and to help speak for you. So until next week, thank you all for tuning in. Thank God for you. Continue to be prayerful. Continue to pray for our communities. Continue to pray for our nation. We're all going through, but one thing about it, we can go through and do this thing together. But most of all, let's continue to pray, as the old folks say, ring up heaven. Ring up heaven. Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Ring up heaven. Continue to cry out and pray and ask God to heal our land, that he will give us peace and unity in these last days. So until next week, thank you once again for tuning in. This is yours truly, Minister Brenda Clements with Empowerment Youth Ministry Broadcast. Listen, hang in there, continue to be prayerful, because prayer changes things. God bless. All right. Thank everyone for tuning in. This has been a very, very interesting topic for us. And we want you once again to go take this information, share it with someone, because cyberbullying is for real, as well as bullying as a whole. And we want to make sure that we're spreading love, not confusion, not division, not no hatred, but let's spread love everywhere you go and put a smile on your face, because it's going to be all right. So thank God for each of you tuning in. And until next week, we're going to do this all over again. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless.